In this video, we're going to go over how to do this M2 simulating dice throws. So let's start. We need to draw a sample space. This involves writing the numbers 1 to 6 on our screen, columns and rows. We can then use the sum button where we're summing two things together, such as B2 and C2, because you can see that the A2 always stays the same. You can put dollar signs next to it and then drag it across to create the pattern. We can do that for the next row. This time we're adding together B and A3. So B1 and A3. So we could just write that in. But because the A3 stays consistent, you can put dollar signs around it. Another way of doing it would be just to manually type in the numbers, such as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. So we are going to have the following. Then what we're going to look at is how many of these options are having at least one 6. Well, we can see there are 11 options out of 36. Now we're going to do this as an experiment. We're going to write rand between function, and then we're going to select this and drag it down to number 12. And then we select it all by pressing Shift, highlight, and then we drag it across. So now we have random numbers generated for dice A and dice B. Working out the max equals max. Select both the values with a dot or a comma between, drag it down. It will automatically calculate the max for each pair. Now we need to work out how many 6s are out of all of the max values. So we can use a formula to count this properly. Let's do this now. Using a formula would work as follows. We'd use the countif formula and we'd select the range, comma, how many 6s. So every time we press enter, we get a new probability. So there's now 6 6s out of 10. To work out the probability, it's the numerator divided by the denominator. We can now press and regenerate as many probabilities as we want. And we can do this by typing a random letter, or we can just press enter on the spreadsheet and it will create new numbers for us. We now need to write results of our 10 experiments from this green probability 10 times. You need to write down actual values, not just guessed values. And then you need to follow the random steps, such as finding the biggest and smallest in our small data set, which would be 0.5 and 0.2. Now we're going to change it. So we're now studying 100 values rather than just 10. So let's scroll down to look at 100 different values. In order to do this, we need to go to row 102. You can see I've gone to row 103, so I need to delete the last row. There we go. Now we're going to change it so there are 100 throws rather than 10. And this time we're going to work out what's the probability of it being a 6. We need to change it to include a bigger range. Good luck with the rest of your investigation.